Hello everyone, I am Piyush Wairale. So in this video, we are going to discuss about few questions from SQL topic here, right? So if you want a complete video lectures along with the course and the test series, you can just refer to my website piyushwairale.com. So I am providing entire SEBI Grade IT Officer course for both phase 1 as well as phase 2. So we are going to cover phase 2 part as well. Already I have provided all the video lectures for algorithm topics, so you can see phase 2 syllabus is already covered, right? Right, so you are going to get PDF notes which you can download and take the printout, so that will be very helpful for your exam preparation. Okay, now let's discuss few questions from SQL topic. Now is the first question: which of the following statement is true regarding truncate? Now if you look at the syllabus here, we have truncate, then we have delete command, and then we have drop command. So difference between this truncate, delete and drop must be clear to everyone. So what about truncate? So I hope everyone is aware about the delete, right? So if you have watched my lectures, we have discussed this difference already as a part of the course, right? Delete means what? Delete from particular table name. Let's say, for example, I want to delete a record from a student table. Student, then I can put a where clause where roll number equals to, right? 101. This is fine. It is going to remove the this particular row. We satisfy this particular condition here, roll number 101. Okay, so this is how delete command works. But even if I skip the where clause, if I just put delete from student, it is going to remove all the rows from the particular table here. So delete is used for what? Removing the rows based on the condition, removing rows based on the condition, right? Or it can remove all the rows from the table if we didn't specify the condition. This is how delete works. Now what about a drop table here? Drop table, table name. It means what? It is going to drop entire table from the database itself. So when we talk about a drop table, it is going to drop entire table from a database. It means what? It remove rows as well as structure of the table. Okay, rows plus structure of the table gets removed here. In the case of delete, only rows will get removed. Structure remains same. Structure does not get removed, right? Structure remains same. Okay, this is how delete and drop works. What about truncate here? Now what truncate does? Truncate also remove the rows, but it reset the identity values here. It means what? It removes the structure and again recreates the same structure here. Okay, that is how truncate works. It removes the rows plus it removes structure, but again automatically create the same structure, we can say. Same structure. So that is what we can say truncate reset the identity value here. So option A is correct. Truncate fires delete triggers? No. Truncate is slower than delete? No. Truncate is faster than delete because truncate remove all the row together. Delete removes and delete command is used to remove a row one by one, right? Even if we just specify delete from student, it is slower than the truncate here. Okay. Now what about option number 4? Truncate removes table structure? No, it doesn't remove table structure. It removes and again create the same structure as well. Okay, this is how it works internally. So truncate, no, it is a drop, removes the table structure. What about option number E? Truncate support where clause? No, delete support where clause here. Okay, so I hope you understand the difference between truncate, drop, delete. Now that's why we say that delete is basically what? DML command, data manipulation language here. So we are manipulating rows of a table. And when we talk about a truncate here, it is basically what? DDL command here, data definition language here. We are dealing with the structure of a table here, right? So that's why truncate is DDL command and delete is DML command. So very, very important point to note here. Okay. And how this truncate works, it differs on the database because some database system offers rollback to truncate function. Delete, if we delete some particular row, we always roll back that particular operation. But in the case of truncate, it depends on the database system, right? We cannot generalize the concept of truncate in the case of rollback. But in the case of delete, almost all the database, in that we can roll back the particular thing here. But in the case of truncate, it depends on the database. Okay. I hope you understand the difference between truncate, drop, and delete. So please do watch my lectures based on SQL. I have discussed this thing in detail. Okay. Now let's try to solve this particular question. Consider a table. So here we have one table. What will be the number of rows updated after executing? Let's say for example, here we have an employee table. Okay. So SQL query is given to us. So update table. So this is how updating the table. So update keyword is there. Then we have a table name. Then what we want to do in the table. So what changes we want? For that purpose, we use set thing here, set that attribute name and whatever the modification want you we specify like this. And then, but for which row? Then we have to specify the where condition here like that. So if you observe update set where, this is the syntax for update function here. Okay. The syntax for update command here. If I put update employee, then where and then set, that is an invalid syntax. So remember this particular syntax, update, set and where like that only. So we are going to update this particular employee table. We are going to set salary equals to salary plus 50,000. Salary equals to salary plus 50,000. But for what? For all the rows? No. Only for the rows salary greater than 45,000. So if you look at the condition here, this row and this row satisfying the condition. So we are going to add 5,000 rupees in this particular column values. Okay. So if you look at how many number of rows update after executing, 2 rows here. So 2 will be the answer. Okay. So this type of question you can expect. Here I have just 3 rows. So in the exam, you can expect a 4, 5, even 5, 6 rows as well. Okay. And they can put one more condition like that. So here you can see update set where. Okay. This is the syntax for updating the table. Okay. Now let's try to solve this particular question. Consider the following table. So we have a table here. Select name from employee. So it's the employee a table. Let's see. Employee ID, name and salary is given to us, right? So from employee, where salary not in. So we have discussed how not in and in statement work. Okay. So here you can see the subquery part. Select salary from employee where employee ID in 1 comma 4. So employee ID is either 1 or employee ID is 4 here. So if you look at employee ID 1 or 4, it is like that. And we have to take the salary of these two particular rows. That is basically what? 40,000. And then we have 75,000 in the output, right? So this is what we are going to get here, 40,000, 75,000. Now what we are saying? Name of employee where salary not in this particular set. So not in 4,000, not in equals to 40,000, not equals to 75,000 like that. It means what? We are going to get 1, 2 and 3 rows in the output. So how many rows will the query return? That is basically 3 here. This one. So not equals to this or this. This is how this not in and in operator works. Okay. So please go through my lectures. I have discussed this thing in detail. Simple question you can expect for 2 marks. Okay. Based on in and not in. Let's try to solve this question. Which of the following statement about SQL views is true? Okay. Now, if you look at the views here, what is view? We can create a view. So it's a syntax is like that. Create view. Then we have to specify the view name, right? Let's say for example, view name. Then we have as, and then we have SQL query here. Okay. So what we are doing here? We are storing the output of SQL query inside this particular view name here, right? So you can see a view store data physically like a table. No, it does not store a data physically in a like a table. No, view always is updated. We cannot say view is always updatable. It depends what we are creating. If I say materialized view, in that case we have to refresh the view so that it will get updated. Okay. So view is always is not a correct option here. A view is a virtual table based on the query. Yes, option C is correct here. You can see create view table based on the query here. So what is the output of SQL query we are going to get here? That is what we are going to store in the view here. It's a virtual table based on the query. So it means we are storing a query inside the view. When we call the view again, it does not store the data. It stores the query here. It means that it is executing the same query again and again. Whenever we are calling a view, it executing the same query again. Okay. That's why we are getting the output here. A view cannot be created using joins. No, it's simply output of SQL query. So we can use joins as well. A view must contain all columns of the base table. No, not required. Whatever the rows it is, this query is going to return, that will be there in the table here. Or whatever the column this particular query is going to return, that will be the column of this particular view table here. That's it. It's a simple temporary table or virtual table based on the SQL query. That's it. Okay. So I hope you understand the concept of views here. Now next question. Question is based on the different types of joins we have. So we have a two table customer and orders. You can see we just have two rows. So this question are for practice purpose to understand the concept. But in the exam, you can expect 5 or 6 rows as well in each table. Okay. Select the C name and O dot amount. C means what? Customers. O means order. So we are going to project what? Customer name and the amount here. So customer C left join orders on C dot CID equals to O dot customer ID here. So we are going to map this customer ID. Now how left join works? So we have left join, we have right outer join. It's basically left outer join, or we can say right outer join here. Then we have full outer join. Okay. So how left outer join works? So first this will give us the common values, or we can say matching values based on the whatever condition we have put here, based on the condition, matching values based on condition plus remaining rows from the left table, remaining rows from left table. So basically it will act like a inner join, or we can simply join plus remaining rows from the left table. Similarly, in the case of right outer join, first this will give us the output based on this particular matching condition, and then remaining rows from the right table here. So I can say it performs like a inner join plus remaining rows from the right table, remaining rows from right table here, right? What about the full outer join? In the case of full outer join, what happens? First, it will give the output based on the required condition matching values here, and then remaining rows from left and right table, both table here. So this will act like an inner join. So based on the condition, common condition, then remaining rows from both the table, remaining rows from both table. That is basically left and right table. We can say left, or we can say right table here. This is how full outer join works. Okay. Now let's try to solve this question. So this CID is equals to O dot customer ID. First one is going to match with the one. Yes, satisfying. But which one is the left table here? Customer. Okay. So one is going to match with one. So in the output, what we are going to get? Customer ID is basically what customer name here, because we are projecting customer name. That is basically Raj. In the output, amount will be 500 here. Now, do we have two in the orders table? No, that's it. So this how inner join will perform. Okay. If I just say inner join between these two a table, so based on this condition, we are going to get the output as what? Raj and then 500. That's it. But here we have left outer join. Now remaining rows from the left table here. If you observe, remaining rows is basically this one, customer ID 2, right? So what you're projecting from this? Neha. So Neha will be there in the output. But what about the corresponding value in the case of amount table here? Because what we said, remaining rows from the left table here. In the left table, we just have two columns, ID and name. But in the output, we are projecting what? Name as well as salary here. So what should be in the salary? The corresponding field of the remaining rows in the case of right table attribute will be what? Null here. Okay. So if you observe which option is correct, option number D is correct here. A simple question based on the different types of join. Very, very important. 101% you can expect a question from this different types of joins. Okay. So in the case of inner join, only the matching values we are going to get in the output. That is basically Raj and amount. So that is basically Raj and 500 here. If I put left outer join, so remaining rows from the left table to, that is basically Neha, and this corresponding value will be null because we don't have a amount corresponding to the Neha ID. But if I perform the right outer join, in that case, what will happen? Here I have Raj and here I have 500 as output. In the case of right outer join, what will happen? Remaining rows from the right table. In right table, basically orders table here, and you can see. So what we are projecting, we don't have a name in the orders table, so that will be a null. And here we are going to get 200. That is basically what? Right outer join. Okay, this is basically a what? Right outer join. Okay, right join. And when we talk about the full outer join, in that case, what will happen? Again, this is going to match with this ID. So Raj and 500 will be there. The remaining rows from left and right column. So first Neha will be there, but corresponding salary is null. And in the case of for this particular table, name will be a null and the salary will be 200 like that. So this is the output in the case of full outer join here. Okay. So I hope you understand the working of inner join, right outer join, full outer join, and left outer join. Okay. So I hope you understand what we have discussed in this particular video. So please try to solve all the questions available on my platform and go through the notes as well as the lectures. That will be very useful for your preparation. Okay. Okay. So that's it from my side. Thank you.